Hey, welcome back to another video. So today I am going to be talking about why people ask for refunds in your business and what you can do to totally avoid this, right? So let me turn this, get a fresh page going. So in my experience, when people have asked me for a refund from my business, it's always comes down to mainly two things, right? One, I'm going to write this down, in fact. The expectation wasn't set out correctly, right? So maybe you explained it one way and the customer understood it another way, right? Or so expectation, I don't know if you can see this or not, guys, but due to lighting in here, but so the expectation, and we're talking about refunds, right? Because refunds is a big thing if you think about it, right? Because we work so hard to put our program out there. We work so hard to put our product out there, only for some people to genuinely take the piss and ask for a refund. But then sometimes, do they deserve that refund just because you wasn't very straight with them and you wasn't clear in the onboarding process on what they was going to get, and they basically didn't receive what they had hoped for originally, and now they're asking for a refund, right? So it's really important that you set the expectations right from the very get-go. And this, especially if you're starting off, okay, and you are in the start of your business, right, and you're genuinely like stress levels are very high, you are looking for your first client, and you've been waiting for a month, you've got bills to pay, and all of a sudden somebody is interested, right, and they want to purchase something from you. Now, I know so many people at this point, they will rather sign an unhappy client, right, just for the money, right? But see, the problem with that, and I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna write this problem in capital. The problem with that is that you're onboarding somebody who is not the right fit, right? Let's just keep it 100% real. So if you're onboarding someone who is not the right fit, you are bound to get problems with that client, with that customer. Now, yes, like 1 in 10 or 1 in 100 might be that odd one that it was just everything went so smoothly, but the chances of you having problems down the line is going to be quite high, right? Now, if you're in a place of high stress because you need to pay bills and you need clients, and you are onboarding someone who is not the right fit, I promise you that never ever ends well, right? I know so many people that have businesses with unhappy clients. One of, for example, look at what's happening with school games right now with Alex Hormozi. Like, everybody is jumping on the bandwagon because they want to open up a community on school games because Alex Hormozi is there, only to win the school games. Well, how can that be a proper business if you're, and I'll do a whole nother video on that, but if you're genuinely doing it to win the school games, you're going to put a blind eye to who you're onboarding just because you want to win the school games, right? And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about the community Alex Hormozi is connected to. He's the co-founder of with Sam, and at the moment is a big hype going on about that. But anyway, so the reason why customers ask for a refund is because the expectations was not set right in the onboarding process. So that's number one, you must get right, right? Number two is the customer just came from an emotional angle, right? They wanted instant results. Now, if your program or your product doesn't resolve that for them, they are also in a place of stress, right? So if the customer is in a place of stress and they just want some quick results and they've seen your ad, right? Or they've just come across some of your content or your YouTube channel and they're thinking, well, I really want to work with this person. This person's my go-to person and they're going to save me, right? Now, remember, customer is coming from a stressful place, and just because they want instant results, and then when they don't get the instant results, they are going to ask for that refund, right? So it all comes down to knowing who your customer is, who your customer is, and I know I keep saying this in my other videos, but I promise you, it's always the basics. If you know who your customer is, if you know what problem you solve, it's very, very easy to find the right customer. The second reason why people ask for a refund is because they are coming from a place of stress. Now, as a coach, as a mentor, as a business owner, if you cannot see that, right, and if your process of onboarding is just get every single penny that comes in, every single customer that comes in, you're not going to build a long-term business. You're not building a 10-year business. I'm sick and tired of these phones going off when I'm doing recordings. Honestly, I'm doing my content here and it just keeps going off. Sorry, I really apologize because of that. You're not going to build a long-term 10 years, 20 years, 30-year business. You're going to have people that are just going to want to leave after 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, which is then going to make you stressed, right? So this is why if you can get to a place in your business where you can say no to more people than you say yes to, well, I promise you that is a really good place to be, right? Now, the question I hear you ask is, oh, it's okay for you because you can do that, but for someone who's starting off, they can't do that. Fair enough. I accept that. That is a fair question to ask. And this is why, in my opinion, you should only go full time in something when you know you can cover. Let's just say you have a job, right? And you want to start a side hustle. Well, make sure that whatever you're starting off here, you don't just go into it till you have your bills or you have the security of your rent and everything covered from your job, right? Until you don't build this business up to 1 or 2 or 3 clients, till you know, okay, this can pay me now part-time. Now I can go part-time in my work to focus on this. That's how it starts. You have to slowly do it, right? So let's just say you are a business owner, right? That example was for someone who's in a job and they want to start a business. But let's just say you are an existing small business owner and you want to launch a new product line, right? So you already have a product line, but you want to launch a new one, a new service. Now, the service and the product that you currently have now, have you peaked that? Have you took that to its peak? Have you focused on it 100% to make sure you've maximized and squeezed every single part of that product? Have you sealed up all the leaks in that product? Because I guarantee you haven't, right? Most of us do this. We will launch something, we won't maximize it, we won't let it hit to peak, but then we will go and launch another thing because we have shiny object syndrome, where we see somebody else doing it, we think, oh, we need to do that as well. Well, no, just focus on your 1 or 2 products, get the most sales from there first, then bring a new product in. And at that point, because you're really focused on this, right, and this third thing you're launching, if you're busy, you can get somebody to spend 2-3 hours on it every day, or maybe you can spend 2-3 hours on it every day just to test it out, right? So test it out, bring 1 or 2 clients on board, see if they're the right fit, right? And for the first 6 months, you're probably going to be testing it out anyway, right? You're going to be testing out, so you're never going to really know. But the point here is you're not relying on the new product or the new service, because what's funding everything is the other 1 or 2 products. Till you now know 100% this is the right person, this is the right client for this product, this is the service for this specific customer. Now you know. But because you know, and you're not relying on that to make you the money, your main focus is still on the 1 or 2 products. So because the revenue is coming in, you can afford to spend a little bit more time on this to make sure you get the right customer, you know who your customer is, and when the onboarding process is so good that you are going to bring the right people on board to avoid these refunds. And if you don't do that, then clearly, because you don't know what you're doing, the expectations are going to be set all incorrectly, and you're going to have customers coming in from a high stress place because, oh, I just want results. I want my first 10K a month, or I want my first 15K a month. It doesn't work like that, right? Because To make your first 15, 20, 25, 30, 40K a month, it's not just all strategy. It's so much more that goes into it. What I don't want to do is, I don't want to go off track. I want to make sure I'm sticking to the point. Is there's 3-4 lessons packed in this video here, which I really want you to take away. So firstly, if you want to reduce the refunds in your business, set the expectations right from the get-go, right? Make sure your onboarding process is not let's just accept everyone. You have to get to a place where you have to eventually say no to more people than you say yes to, right? Because maybe that customer is not aligned with your values, right? So that is very, very important to do. Now, for example, when I launched my high ticket offer, this was years ago now, I remember I had no customers for the first, I think, 6 months. I had no customers, but I was okay with that. Why? Because I didn't want to bring the wrong people on board, right? And this, I remember my coach saying this at the time. Ibby, look, you're already making money from your other businesses. Don't just bring somebody on board just because they want to work with you. He said, if they're not the right fit, just say no to them. He said, I promise you, even if it takes another 12 months for you to get a client, he said, just wait. Just continue putting your content out there. Just make sure you come from a place of good intention where you're genuinely putting content out there to help people. He said, I promise you, people will come into your funnel. Right? People will find you, right? And that's what I did. I just went patient. I said, okay, well, I'll just make sure I get the product right. And if somebody comes, somebody comes. If somebody doesn't come, that's fine. My mission is to just make sure I give as much value as I can, just to make sure that whoever's watching this and they can take something away from that. It's a very well-known saying is that when the student is ready, the teacher shows up, right? Now, if I force someone and say, no, you need to come and work with me, you need to, listen, people are not going to come. So you have to understand this, that you must just come from a place of just offering help. The people that come in will find you. The people that don't will take something away. And maybe even if they're taking something away, they've still spent time with you, right? So they've maybe haven't invested in actual cash and in actual money, but they've invested their time. And I believe that time is more valuable than money, which is another video I can do another time. But this is what you should do to avoid refunds. So number 1, set expectations correctly. Number 2, don't onboard people if they're coming from a high stressful place, because all that will lead to is refunds. Make sure you're very crystal clear as a coach, as a mentor, as somebody who is in the probably business space, and probably you are as well that are watching. You will be good at reading people. So just go with your intuition, go with your judgment. And if it's a no, unfortunately say, look, I'm really sorry. You are not the right fit for this program. Maybe you have a lower tier for them, or maybe you have some free resource what you can give to them, right? These days when people get in touch with me on social media, like I promise you, most of the people, I just send them to my YouTube channel. It's like, or I just give them my book, right? Which is, look, just go and get my book, which is going to be really helpful for you, and you will take a lot from that. And then if you need some help and if you feel like you're in the right place, then yeah, come and join my community. But till then, I feel like the free resources are going to be right for you. So that's what I would say on refund. That's what you should do. And I promise you, if you do that, you will avoid a lot of refunds. You'll create a long-term business, which is what you want. I hope you found some value in this video that I produced for you today. Till next time, I'll see you again.